I am ready.
Good evening, fight fans. Welcome to another great. Oh, now the intro's still playing at 5. There it goes. Good evening, fight fans. Welcome to another great episode of Headkicks and Haymakers. I'm your boy Bodkins, and of course, with me, as always, is your boy K Witt and Mr. Bobby Blunt. Oh, boys, Saturday night was one for the ages. I don't even know where to begin, but we'll begin with CHAMA. Alex Pereira goes in about less than about 90 seconds total. He puts out Ankalaev. Bobby, I will start with you because you were so far behind Ankalaev. We were starting to call you Bobby Abeliz. I thought you were the one tweeting for Big Ank there for a while. Your thoughts on CHAMA, the return, and becoming, a light to heavyweight champion for the second time. We'll get into what's next later, but I got to start with what happened first.
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely like in the first 30 seconds of the fight, it occurred to me that I would, because I pretty much wrote Alex off for the main aspect if he was never giving any credit to Ankalaev, coming with the injuries, saying he was compromised. And I just never saw him really admitting like, hey, I just lost to the better guy that night. But then seeing how quickly he took to the center of the cage and, cut off the cage, he, I think him being compromised was actually not just something a fighter was saying. I think that was actually the scenario of happening because he just looked a hell of a lot more comfortable in there. He was not giving Ankalaev really an inch to move, and backed him up on the cage there. Got him to kind of cross his feet when he was switching stances there, hit him, and he never really recovered from there. I mean, that takedown was just more an instinct thing because he felt the power and following up with those 12-6 elbows. It was absolutely about the shortest night it could have been for him. Probably exactly what he needed to put the kind of aura back in the box and stuff. I mean, I was kind of making the jokes when Ankalaev came out saying, look at this aura here. And it just really reminded me, like when Alex did his walkout, for one, we hadn't seen that in a while. And it was kind of weird seeing him come out first, You're so used to his opponent being in the cage kind of when that happened. And, Ankalaev, his body language looked a little bit off. I mean, I know people have said things that he was injured and stuff. My follow-up to that is I don't know why the hell he took the fight because Alex was completely game, not injured, and made very quick work of him. So, I definitely discredited Alex quite a bit, and he made me completely eat the crow on that. And at the end of the fight, getting the entire arena to erupt chanting CHAMA, everyone's cheering, and then got that same arena to give a moment of silence to Arthur Jones. It just really showed that kind of mystique and the anomaly that he is. I mean, Pereira was 5 years the elder to Ankalaev. Normally, when you see these guys that are 38 that lose the first fight and get the rematch, it really does not go in their direction. But you know, Pereira just continues to prove that he's the anomaly. So very well done, and I'll even give you a CHAMA, Botkins. CHAMA.
You said no CHAMA, and by God, there was CHAMA with.
And then him saying CHAMA to him afterwards just like took the cake. I mean, you know, he probably didn't understand what he was saying, but that and with the hands and everything, like he definitely was fighting like he was pissed off.
Yeah, the one thing you don't want to do is piss Alex off. Like, there was the whole backstory. I must have missed it. I guess like Ankalaev told him to like back to the tire shop after this, and I mean, with your thoughts on Saturday night and what Alex accomplished, and as far as just making quick work of Big Ankalaev.
Man, first of all, you know, I'll start from the back of the fight, the back end. It's really it culturally, the idea of family and sports kind of came to fruition. You know what I mean? Like, family is bigger than sports. And for him to go out there, display what he did, but stop everything cold and go, hey, another competitor lost a family member. Like, everybody shut the hell up and let's pay some respect to one of the greatest fighters. I don't care how you feel about it. One of the greatest fighters of all time. And literally, the crowd shut up. Joe Rogan shut up. DC didn't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody was with it. But, you know, back to the fight. For real, this was you hit the nail on the head, Bobby. It was technically odd to see him come out first. And then we haven't seen that whole, you know, kind of trounce to the ring and his whole you know what I'm saying? We haven't seen that in so long. It was exciting to me. That was like watching it for the first time. And to see how he came into the ring, and there was like no way that I think Ankalaev could have predicted that he was going to pounce on him at that rate and speed with that.
The first 5 seconds when he closed off Ankalaev like that, it was like he slid right in his face and cut off the cage and was like, I was like, oh shit. Like,
yeah,
I was literally like, oh shit, this is a different, like, Pierre's he's game. Like, he's not gonna back down. Like, what we saw in the first fight was like he was kind of back on the back foot a little bit, and it was like as soon as he slid right in front of Ankalaev, was like, you got to come through me this time. I'm not backing down from shit. I was like, oh, this going to end quick and bad for Big Ank.
And for real, like, this is another opportunity that we was, you know, people who were for Ankalaev, like Bobby, like other people that we know in the community, like, where was the thing that we think would defeat that man? And there was no opportunity for him to even try to wrestle. No opportunity for him to try to do a takedown. So I think that once again, a healthy Pereira, you know, is so much more of a scarier thing that you can't even, I don't even know. I think it's kind of like you get held in your place, especially when he walks up on you like that. So, you know, before that very first fight, everybody was going, Ankalaev was going to wrestle him. He's going to be put in a position that he's never been in. We didn't really get to see too much of that. I think, if I'm not mistaken, there was only like 3 takedowns in the very first fight. We didn't even see him get the opportunity to do it because it was so much pressure on him. So, you know, big shouts out to, just like you said, that 37-38 group of rematches. It's normally not where it's normally not where what we're going to see. I don't know what to do. I just like Anchorman. I don't know what to do with my hands. You just have to hold them up and say, one of the best fighters we've seen in 4 years lost the title, regained it, and he's literally only been here for less than a decade still. So big shouts out to him. It was worth the wait to see it happen. And I'm excited to actually talk about what's possible for the next chapter for Alex Pierre.
Yeah. Hold on one second. There was something I bookmarked a couple things here. So you mentioned it with like he has not been around very long. So just in his little in first of all, Alex is only it had an MMA career for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
He has had 6 title fight wins. Here's the guys he has now surpassed in those 6 title fights. Islam, Max, TJ, and Chuck Liddell. Fighters he's tied with is DC, Kamaru, Stipe, and Ronda Rousey. And listen to this. Listen to these fight streaks that he's broken. He has broken Sean Strickland's 18 fight win streak. He broke Izzy's 23 fight win streak. He broke Yuri's 13 fight win streak, and we'll talk about Yuri here in a little bit. Khalil Roundtree's 5 fight win streak, and Magomed Ankalaev's 14 fight win streak. Like the dude has proven that he is one of the best 205 fighters of all time. Hold on real quick, Rob's. So he says so. AP gets a pass in fight 1, but not the same pass for Ank with the busted rib in fight 2. BS trilogy.
Don't worry, Rob. I'll get to it.
Yeah. So I do want to address that there is. So I will say there is rumors that there's reported that Ankalaev had a rib injury, and he and Alex had some sort of illness and things like that. Here's why I'm going to say I don't need a rematch. In the first fight, Ant could not finish a depleted Alex. Guess what? Alex finished him. I mean, in a short time. I don't really need to see the rematch. I don't think Alex is going to give him the rematch. I don't think the UFC is going to give him the rematch. He went in there and did us all a favor and got rid of Big Ant time. And Alabiz, Ali Alabiz can go back to tweeting for him or whatever it is. Bobby, I know you got something to say, so go ahead.
Well, I don't know if I should address what Rob said or. So yeah, the win streak thing is impressive. I will say, though, in that tweet, I believe the Sean Strickland one is incorrect. Okay. He did beat it wasn't like an 18 fight win streak because, like, I know he lost to in, I think, welterweight or something. But, I mean, granted, it was still a win streak. It's still extremely impressive. And, I mean, it's so bizarre because I had no appetite for this rematch. I just did not see the kind of benefit that it would get Potent, really. And especially like when we're seeing the scenario of he just won the belt and probably is just going to drop the title again. That was kind of why I was like up in the air from the first place. But I did think that Ankalaev also just equally did not look right. Now, granted, was that just a healthy Potent that made him not look right? I don't know who told him it would be bright to fight with a broken rib, especially against a healthy Potent. So, I mean, the way I look at it, he decided to stick with the fight. So it's really hard to kind of hold it over. Oh, well, he was injured. They need to there's a better chance of me winning the lottery than there is the UFC running that back for a trilogy. Whether I think it should happen or not, it's, kind of irrelevant in that case. But I don't know. I do think it is a little bit of a shame that we will never see these two guys fight again, both being completely healthy. But, that is also kind of the game as well. I mean, these guys rarely ever go into a fight healthy. But, and I understand why Ankalaev probably didn't want to pull out because it's the biggest fight of his career. He knew he was always going to have to get 2 against Alex. But I could also see while people are holding it up saying, "Hey, this isn't really fair." But we know the UFC doesn't give a shit about any of that.
Yeah, life's not fair. I don't really need to see the rematch, and the only reason I wanted to see the rematches before, it wasn't just because it's not that I wanted this rematch because I thought Alex was hurt or injured or whatever. Like you took the fight, you lost the fight. The only reason I said give him the rematch is because I felt like he earned it because he had been the champion for so long and had cleaned house. Like that's the only real reason I felt like that there was a need for the rematches, because like he was the long-standing king, and like they've usually given the guy who's been the long-standing king the rematch. That's how I look at it as.
Yeah, well, the rematch was always kind of predicated off if this is what Alex wants, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
I always figured he would just kind of move up to heavyweight, and then ironically, that's what he's asking for the day of the fight. So
I think so. Here's what I'll say to that is, I think he probably would have been okay with it, but the tweeting and the bad blood that kind of spilt over, and the disrespect that was given, that Ank was giving him, it fueled the fire.
Mm-hmm.
in other words, it's all Ali's fault then, because Ankalaev didn't do any of that shit.
Exactly.
In my mind, it was the buttons were already pushed, and you just had to be there to kind of see in his face, man. I felt like during the press conference, during all of the press run type stuff that just was popping off there on Instagram and all that, like he looked completely locked in, as if to say, "Hey, it wasn't me the first time." I'm not taking anything away from Ankalaev. Like we said, he was on the streak. He made it to the top. He beat the guy, fair and square, regardless of injury or not. But you both have made a solid point that the way that the fight happened, if the fight would have went 5 rounds, let's say the fight would have went 5 rounds, ended in a decision, split decision, majority decision, whichever one, I will be here talking about a rematch today. Currently, I am in the place, just like you guys, where when the talk arises, and I'm sure it will eventually, Dana's going to probably, Dana's a straightforward guy. He's probably going to go, no, I don't want to see it. I'm going to make sure it doesn't happen. And then I want to kind of slide this in there, and I don't want to, segue too far away from where we are right now in the conversation. But I really feel like had the end of the fight been, turned into a time for mourning and respect, I really feel like he was going to say it right there and then in the ring, like, it's time for me to, to take on the next challenge, and I want to, I want Tom Aspinall, or I want the super fight with John Jones, maybe, you know what I mean? Something spicy.
So he did say that, he has said that what it is pretty much. He didn't say it in the octagon due to the respect for John Jones after day after losing his brother. But he at the presser, he told Dana and his team, his team told Dana either that night or before the fight, like, hey, after we win this, we want to go to heavyweight. We want to fight John Jones. They don't even want Tom Aspinall. They want John Jones. They want the super fight, the big money fight, and then maybe he fights Tom Aspinall. Rob says he should never go to heavyweight. If he does that, he'll get smeared. I'm not betting against him. I'm just not. Like, I'm not betting against this guy. Like, he has proven otherwise. Like, maybe he does. I think it would be a lot of fun. Him and John Jones, or him and Tom Witt. I'll start with you. Which one interests you the most?
I'm gonna tell y'all exactly how it should happen, because another world-class great fighter had to do it. You put him in there, and you put him in there with Derek Lewis. You put him in there with Hear me out. You put him in there with somebody just scary enough. You give him one fight. If he cleans the mat with him, easily, just like we saw today over the weekend with Uncle Live, then yeah, we go Tom, we go John. If he's not, now, that's what I'm saying. If he's not concerned about, if he and the matchmakers are not concerned with the belt, then sure, let's go ahead. Let's have the John Jones super fight. John Jones himself admittedly told all of us, without really saying it, even though he pretty much hinted at it, that Tom Aspinall does not wake him up in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Or super for John Jones, I'm sure that if Dana White swallowed his pride, which we know Dana White does not do much of, John Jones would have come back to do anything to fight Francis Ngannou. But it's never going to happen. So the next thing would be, hey, let's move it and put either the title on the line for Poatan to get, or let's find a way to have him circumvent all of that and just have the money fight. The 2B BMF, the big BMF, the biggest baddest.
We don't need BMF. Just do John Jones versus Poatan for nothing. You don't need anything with that. Fight sells itself. I don't need no fake ass belt.
I like titles. You can call it what you want, but it even though, just like you say, even though it doesn't need it don't need no wrapper on it. You know what I'm saying? It's just shiny and bright. I feel like the objective would be to show and Rob's got a good point, of course, which is a possibility. But if they just circumvent all of that, I really feel like he's got to go in there and give me one heavyweight fight. End it quickly, and you can have whatever you want. Give me one heavyweight fight, any of the heavyweights. I don't care which one. Take a low. Cyril Gane. Everybody likes to fight Cyril Gane and lose, right? Or beat him is the point. He can fight one of the heavyweights at the top, get him out the way, and then he can ask for whomever, whenever.
No, he can ask for whoever he wants now. He's the UFC's biggest star. Bobby, talk some sense into this guy, or get us back on track and some sort of normalcy here.
So I'm surprised I haven't seen more people talking about this, because it was very telling to me. Tom Aspinall has now talked himself out of not one super fight, but now he has talked himself out of two. It was no coincidence whatsoever that Pereira was calling out a retired fighter and was not calling out the heavyweight champion in Tom Aspinall. And just like John Jones got rubbed the wrong way from how Tom was promoting himself, he did the same way in belittling Alex's 205 run the first time. Literally said he only had cake matchups for him, easy fights, and Goliath figured him out. And that literally got to be like, because, the media asked him, oh, would you want to fight John Jones or would you want to fight Tom Aspinall to get your third heavyweight title? I'm paraphrasing here, but Poatan pretty much said, I don't give a fuck about that worthless, meaningless title. I want a super fight that has nothing to do with Tom Aspinall, unfortunately. It absolutely has nothing to do with that French bum, Cyril Gane. I mean, my appetite for that is, would it be funny to watch? Sure. Would Gane have a chance? Maybe. But I think the only fight on the table is John Jones. You don't need a warm-up heavyweight filler. Jones was literally saying the only thing that was going to get him off the couch and get him excited is to fight someone like Alex Pereira. Now, obviously, a lot of people took that as ducking. It's pretty hard, if you're looking at Tom as the heavyweight champion currently, that Jones obviously wants nothing to do with that fight. But if you look at it through the aspect of these guys just kind of wanting some respect put on their name, now both John Jones and Alex Pereira want nothing to do with Tom. And what does that get him? That gets him, headlining Cyril Gane this month in Abu Dhabi. But it was just pretty wild to me that the UFC, by design, I think set up for both of these fights to be in the same month, kind of hoping that they would have this option to pitch it. And Pereira just completely no-sold it. Like, I want nothing to do with this. And you're right, Botkins. He can call his own shot. And the shot he called is John Jones. And, him pretty much saying he wanted to be on the White House. Dana might have his reservations. I think it's almost a layup for that fight to be made. And especially with the tragedy that happened with John Jones and losing his older brother, I think that might kind of be the out that Dana gets to just squash all the pettiness with John Jones, and that's going to be the one. Read what Rob says, because I'm very interested.
He said, running from Oldberg, what a champion. I don't believe he's running from Oldberg.
But like at the same time, Rob, like this was my hesitation to having him run it back, because I always assumed if he regained the title, he was never going to defend it. The plan, that cut has been killing him. He's already like 230 pounds. It's not like he would really be a small heavyweight. I mean, maybe if you like compare him to Gane or something, but having him fight John, they're pretty like even in the size. Yeah. But I do understand Rob's point of kind of being the purist of wanting to see lineage in the titles. I'm kind of the same way, but this is not a normal circumstance, because the guy that he's calling out is literally, he is the only guy to get that guy to sign the dotted line. What'd Rob say there?
So he said he can call John all he wants. John ain't answered. I beg to differ. I think John is answering on this one. He said before he fought Stipe that he wasn't interested in fighting really Tom. He wanted Alex. That was way back in a year ago at this time almost. And here we are. So I disagree that I think John has said himself that he wants to fight on this White House card. What doesn't make sense to me is that that Dana's like, oh, I have my reservations about him fighting at heavyweight. Well, why? Well, he used to fight at middleweight. Yeah, the motherfucker barely made middleweight. Like, have you seen the size of this man, Dana? Like, I just think what Dana doesn't want to do, he's so mad at John Jones, he doesn't want to acknowledge the fact that this is the fight that John wanted all along, and he doesn't want to do John Jones any favors. He's so pissed off at the communication and the contract negotiations with John and Tom that he doesn't want to do anything with John Jones right now. I firmly believe that. As we know, Dana, when he has an axe to grind, he'll grind that motherfucker and there's no looking back. He doesn't do what's best for business at times. He's going to do he's a big fuck you, fuck me, fuck you guy. And I respect that. So I think that's where he's just not going to say that in public.
Okay. He's not going to say that in public.
Go ahead,
yeah.
Bobby.
I got you. My bad. But yeah, he's not going to say that in public, and I'm with you that it's definitely a big FU somewhere involved in all of this.
Exactly, Jay.
The next thing that I gotta throw out there is, and I'm not really picking sides, and I'm just being an honest thing about it. Like, I give John 100% credit because for a year and a half to 2 years, he put his body through keeping and maintaining that weight, because he was already a slender framed, just lanky guy in the first place. But he put that weight on, maintained it, worked out, held it, made it look solid, worked it out. I give him credit for just taking that effort into being that serious at being a heavyweight. Does Alex have to do that necessarily? I don't think that. The point is, me as a fan, I don't know. I don't want that to be what it is. But should he do that to give himself his best chance at winning against one or two of the top heavyweights in the UFC? I think so. Not the whole year. No. I'm not saying it doesn't happen at 26. I'm just saying that if this was supposed to happen, I want to see the best version of Alex in the ring. Don't give me put on the weight and I'm just a heavy guy, Alex Pereira. I want to see, fit, in shape, oxygen mask not needed Alex in the ring, because I want the best version. Don't get me wrong, he can end any fight at any division apparently with just one punch or kick if necessary, because we've seen that in the past from his kickboxing. But if we gave him enough time to say, hey, look, here goes 8 months. Let's eat right, let's train, get right. We're gonna be at 2 and some change all day long. And then we'll get in the ring. That I'd rather that. I don't want to see him in March. You know what I'm saying? And it be, hey, this you're walking around weight. Now let's fight. I want him to be ready and top tier heavyweight status. But that's just me. And I got patience.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. With like, it's like when Izzy jumped up to 205 and like he didn't even.
Yeah, it didn't look good. Correct. It did. That was not a good look. And Izzy walks around at 205. But for me, it will take just a little bit of time and a little bit of preparedness. Give those guys at heavyweight a little bit of respect. But I think for sure that, and I'm gonna shut up after this. The main deal is, we've already said it. 40 years old, or the closer you get to it, this is the end of the road, bro. Cash in now. But if you're going to cash,
I think that's what he's trying to do. And Rob, I'm not going to disagree with like in what Whit's saying either. Is like fighting with 40-pound deficit is not it against grapplers, and we know Tom and John are going to grapple. I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to say don't do it when this guy has done everything under the sun. Like, that's just what I'm saying. Like, I'm not going to bet against, like, I would probably pick him to lose in some. I might pick him to beat John, but I'm probably not going to pick him to beat Tom, just because of the age factor with John. Really, that's the only my reservation. But really, I think John Jones and Alex are about the same age, so it doesn't really matter at this point in time. Bobby, you had something real quick.
Well, I mean, back to Dana. He when they asked him at the press conference, you could tell he wasn't a fan of the idea, but he definitely gave himself a huge out in not shitting on it. And he acknowledged that Pereira has kind of always been the soldier for him. And I mean, it was one of the things I kind of overlooked in the rematch. Is this is the first fight where he actually got a decent amount of time in between bouts and stuff, so he could fully be healthy. And I think Dana kind of gave himself the out to make that happen. I still, to this day, do not consider John Jones a legitimate heavyweight. So to me, if they fought, it would be two 205ers fighting at the 265 limit, nothing more. I do not think there is a scenario in hell that Pereira fights Tom Aspinall. I think Tom just fucked himself on Jones, and the same thing is kind of going to happen with this. And he's.
I think if Alex beats Jones,
he would retire instantly and go out on top. Oh, absolutely.
I think he could fight.
How? Explain to me how beating the greatest fighter of all time in a match that nobody would give you a chance in winning, how is that moment gonna be topped?
The odds came out on that. Hold on a second. I'm gonna look it up. I would tell you this:
Jones is like a minus 400 for the future.
No.
Yes. He's at least like a minus 385.
I'm gonna look it up, Bobby.
He would, like, Jones's strategy would do him the same way he did Cyril Gane. That might enrage some people. But,
no, I agree. You're right. Okay. So it says here, most people, Pierre is opening up at plus 500, while Jones is
John Jones coming off the couch. Imagine if he was actually like active. And you know me, I'm no John Jones apologist, but I'm just kind of reading the lines in the room. And the spectacle and everything would be cool. But I do think the fight would be extremely underwhelming compared to the buildup.
I will say this though, why fight Tom? Because if you beat the greatest fighter of all time and then you go beat Tom Aspinall and you get your third belt, you're the greatest fighter of all time.
No, he would already become the greatest fighter of all time, beating Jones. Like Tom is unfortunately irrelevant in this scenario. And I don't mean to discredit Tom. I'm a fan of Tom, but he brings nothing to the table to offer Alex. And, beating down French Gone is not going to do anything to his stock. We all expect him to win that. He could clean out the entire heavyweight division, and Alex would still not give him the time of the day, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can see that. It'll be interesting what happens. We'll kind of circle. Well, we'll just actually kind of what's next for this light heavyweight before we get to the co-main, because what happened in the third fight, which possibly could have been fight of the year, round of the year, comeback of the year. Holy shit, how the fuck did he pull this off of the year? And that's none other than Yuri Prochazka. What he did in that third round to Khalil Roundtree. I am still sitting here almost a week later, stunned in what happened. I mean, Khalil clearly ahead 2-0, and Yuri somehow, I mean, in his samurai.
Khalil was a -810 going into that third round.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's coming out. I mean, Yuri comes somehow, his samurai. I got to make this fucking awkward looking fucking thing happen. Yes. I mean, the whole fight, the announcer said something's wrong with his movement, his legs. And it does seem it's awkward all the time. And he's able to put down Khalil Roundtree, big tree fall hard in the third. Our boy Louis Gossett Jr. with aka Khalil Roundtree it loses. It seems like Yuri could be next for the title. If it's vacant, I believe if Alex vacates the title, it'll be Yuri versus Goldberg. But Whit, I'm gonna start with you. You're just Yuri's holy shit. How the fuck did he pull that out moment? Your thoughts?
Yeah, bro. Holy shit! How the fuck did he pull that off? It was an amazing thing to see. Because first of all, let me just be clear. Khalil Roundtree is a man's man, a fighter's fighter. You want to see him. You hear about him every time he's in the ring. We talk about two things: one, that he will not wrestle you; two, he will stand and fight you. This is an opportunity for us to give him his flowers, even in a loss, because every once in a while we get fighters who lose fights, and we still got to give him a round of applause. He lost a fight to Alex the first time, had to give him a round of applause. You know what I mean? And to me, I still think this one was another opportunity for us to say, hey, that guy's bad. He's losing to the best of the best. You know what I'm saying? He's not necessarily losing to no clowns. He ain't losing to no mid-range fighters. He's not losing to 7 through 10. He is losing to the best. And Yuri himself has had, his ups and downs, but Yuri has lost to the best or future champions both times.
He's only lost to Alex Pierre. That's his only losses.
Future champions and the champ both times. So that shows you exactly where we at with it. But for me, like the dominant first 2 rounds for Khalil Roundtree was crazy. He was dominant. He was surgical. The striking, the body work, and you could kind of see that thing where Yuri is gonna live by the gun, die by the gun. If I started getting hit, I'm going to end this getting hit, but my cardio's going to begin to pay off. By the third round, the switch got turned on for Yuri, and I think he visibly saw that the output by Khalil was wearing on him, and then out of nowhere, the left hand shut his lights off, bro. And I did not see it as if that was a significant strike. I thought, here goes Yuri with the good old 1-2, and Khalil went down. And when he went down, it was a wrap, man. And I am in shock to a degree, because to see two dominant rounds, and let's give props to the ref for not stopping the fight at least one time. because Yuri looked out on his feet and then they didn't do anything and they let it go. That's really good refereeing, in my opinion. So, this one is one for the books. We had gotten an opportunity to see what was going on, but just like we said, if the belt gets vacated, it's Yuri versus the world. He's Watkins, you said it. He's only lost to the best ever in the division, seemingly. What else can you do but throw? Hey, throw the Samoan out there, and let's see what happens. But if he comes off on top, man, we gonna have to respect that guy and his strange ways. Because I thought that the realest thing ever was they did that close up of Yuri when Alex came out and a tear went down his face. A real tear went down his face watching the next man win and go into the octagon. I'm sorry. You gotta respect the guy that's that damn passionate. Okay. But good to continue on. Yuri Prohaska for the vacated belt in 2026. That's what I got going on.
Yeah, Bobby. I mean, Yuri. If you look, Khalil was hitting with some shots and he wouldn't go down. So this makes you think again, like how hard Alex hits. To me, like I'm like, yeah, and like if Alex wasn't here, if Izzy doesn't create this monster, as he likes to say, we might be talking about Yuri being one of the greatest at 205 of all time because nobody's been able to figure out this puzzle other than Alex. And I mean, that comeback, you said it Saturday. You texted me on Saturday night and was like, comeback of the year. I mean, that's that and then some.
Yeah, man. Cookies are for closers. And bluntly, Khalil Roundtree is not a closer. This will be the second fight where he will be praised for doing good and, just having a moronic fucking game plan in the third. I was kind of blown away because he has, John Wood in his corner. He was trying to get through to his athlete. And in that third round, I mean, Khalil just came out and tried to up the output a little, and he was already looking a little gassed. And I've always thought Khalil is a little small for this division. I mean, not size-wise, but absolutely power-wise. And when you saw that Yuri was able to just eat his best and keep going forward, and Yuri knew really his only chance was to, make it a dogfight. And I just, at that point, when you're getting damaged and you refuse to clinch or try to shoot because you just have this, warrior mentality of wanting to give it to the fans, well, you got knocked out because of it. So good job. Cookies are for closers. Yuri is a closer. Continues.
Roundtree did the thing he said he doesn't want to do, what he said he learned from the Alex fight, right? Like, hey, I got to be smarter. But sometimes
I never see it. You saw it.
I saw it in the Hill fight. In the Hill fight, he did different. He was not in the
Hill fight. He was just risk averse to the point of it just being boring.
Yeah.
And, granted, he won every round, but at no point did you think Hill was like going to mount the comeback that Yuri did. And, Yuri got in his face and, that kick to the body, Khalil already looked kind of gassed as is. So, that probably took even more out of the tank. Khalil has a fun style, but at the top, even with Pereira now leaving the division, and granted, there we go, beautiful home run.
Same, Mike. I said the same thing. I said I thought it would be a boring fight, and I love Khalil too. I'm the same way.
Yeah, we all.
If he would have just been able to swallow his pride and try to stall out with the exchanges, he probably could have gotten through the third round and he would have won the decision. But he doesn't know that. And it really should, I just find it unfortunate that his career is going to be what a fun fighter, but it's a shame he couldn't close in those later rounds.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Donald Cerrone, a couple guys are
Cowboys out there. He's one, and granted, I'll say this: he's got that thing that makes you want to look at it, whether it's a bad car crash or not. And once again, when I was in the middle of watching it, I feel like that adrenaline dump that happens when you think you're winning. When you think you're winning, it just shuts off when you find out the guy is not done, and then all of a sudden you done with it. And yeah, that he had a nice kick. Yuri had a nice kick on him. And who knows how much gas that took out of him, man, how he couldn't breathe anymore. It was really tough for him to come back and combat that. But once again, all world fighters are, have very similar things about them. But one thing that I think he has to eventually explore, he's got to go into it just a little bit. I need to see him do something different. We were talking about leg kicks. We're not talking about him
doing for once, clinch, like Bobby said, when you're getting beat up, like he just.
Hey, yeah, but in his mind, there is no sprawl. The next punch is the one that's going to take out the opponent, and unfortunately, that's not what's happening. Yeah, the Yankees are struggling. That's crazy. And the Las Vegas Aces just beat the Phoenix Mercury at 3-0. And we're going to be looking to make a clean sweep of it in Vegas for championships, baby. But yeah, I really feel like it's once again Yuri's world at this point in time. Khalil Roundtree if only the BMF belt was in that division.
Here we go again.
Yes, that's right. Do you hear me out, ladies and gentlemen? I want to look at the camera. The BMF title belt, when two guys go in there and
you don't need it.
We
don't need it.
A slobber knocker, a slugfest. That is what I want to see from Khalil.
We can watch that without some fake ass belt. With
I died, and there's a belt for it. What's wrong with that?
Well, what I don't get with Khalil is he's gone so far away from his, when he was just doing like more of the traditional Muay Thai style, he was a lot more dangerous. Now he's adopted this MMA style, but the problem is, there is no scenario where he's going to grapple. So, I mean, just go back to the Muay Thai style.
Yeah, I somewhat agree with that. Are we all in agreement that we all believe that Alex will vacate the light heavyweight title and it should be Yuri versus Olberg next for the title?
Yeah, I'm in there. I'm in that vein, man. If all else fails, he's going to go up. We'll see him in June, July of 26, and he'll be a heavyweight, and we'll be watching Yuri Olberg in like March or April of 26.
Bobby, you got any?
I mean, it would probably be the easiest thing for the UFC to do. I would think they would do it. Olberg, for some reason, didn't want a piece of Yuri in Perth and declined that.
Yeah, so, Rob's over here talking about Alex running. I mean, Yuri or his boy Olberg is ducked Yuri.
I mean, I would probably put it at 70-30, that the 70 being Pereira vacates and goes up to heavyweight, the 30 being he sticks around. Maybe the UFC is able to convince him, hey, just give us one defense at 205 and we'll give you the world. But at the same time, like, Dana always kind of has that scenario where, okay, well, if you're actually talking about this, we got to get this other division moving. So especially, I think that one thing we have not mentioned is he probably has a broken foot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as far as like timetable wise and stuff, it would not shock me if we don't see him until June.
Yeah, agreed. Rob, I explained to you why they did the rematch, why he came back and did the rematch. It's because Ant talked all that shit, and he said, hell nah, ain't happening. All right, go ahead, Whit, if you got something to say before you get out of here.
Yeah. Hey, man, once again, I think this was one of the better pay-per-views for this year. I know you guys are going to go ahead and get into Merab and the domination of Corey Sandhagen. But hey, this was a good one. We got 3 fights in a row that I completely can agree with, and I can't even disrespect the undercard. The undercard had some bangers on it as well. So big shouts out to everybody who's in on the chat. I'm about to go over and start an episode of Rec Room Sports. We got Rob Nakamura coming to talk about UFC 320 on the other side of this break. So we appreciate you guys, man, for checking out Headkicks and Haymakers. And if you got the link, if you see my Instagram and my Facebook, we're going to be on Rec Room Sports in about next 15 minutes, man. Thanks. Come and check us out.
Rob says real quick, he said, Ant didn't talk that shit. Ali did. Yeah. Well, sometimes when somebody in your camp talk that shit, you end up the one paying the price. So maybe Ali had to learn.
I love it. You guys are so great.
Peace.
Hey man, you got to pay the price. That's what happens, Rob. Ali gonna talk that shit. His client had to pay the price.
I do actually like Rob's point, though. I mean, I do find it extremely valid.
It is.
I mean, I have no problem calling a spade, and they just gave him the rematch because that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I know it's not good. Like, you got to know it's bad when not even Ali, probably the most friendliest manager with the UFC, can get a trilogy out of them. So yeah, there is a double standard there, Rob. I am not denying that at all. I guess I've just grown.
I don't think they'll do it. Maybe if Alex stays at 205 and beats, let's just say him and Roundtree fight each other, and he beats Roundtree, like, I'm not saying they won't do the rematch then. It's just not going to be an immediate rematch. Like, that's all I'm going to say about it, really. You know what I mean? So, speaking of a guy who's going to have to go through some rematches, Bobby, that's none other than Merab. I mean, Merab's the greatest 135 of all time. You can't convince me otherwise. He almost had Corey out of there in the second round by knockout. I don't know how Corey survived. Corey won the first round, then Merab 10-8 him in the second, and then the rest was just all straight Merab. Maybe the fifth, I think, if you want to tell me Corey won that round, sure. But Merab this kid's something special. Like, he is getting better and better. And I just think, like, he's so much fun to watch in there. Like, there's boring, like, fights where the dudes just lay on top of you and he lay on top of you. But Merab, elite, like, he's doing stuff and then he's just entertaining. Like, he is this, like, he reminds me of, like, my son. Just has all this damn energy, like, bouncing off the walls, can't stop him. It's just like can't control, like, all the energy in the world, and then he just goes out in the octagon and just, mauls you. I mean, he's the GOAT of the 135 division. Like, you can't tell me anybody else.
I mean, I have no problem with you saying it. I'm still not there, though. Dominic Cruz, through his run, was a lot more risk averse, so I got to give him credit for that. But Merab has easily put himself in the conversation, and whether he's one away from being the bantamweight GOAT, or you already consider him the bantamweight GOAT, I kind of get it.
Is he fighter of the year?
I don't know. I mean, I would have a much easier path giving it to him if he did not do that O'Malley rematch. I know he finished O'Malley, but I don't know. I'm not trying to, like, come in here being pessimistic on Merab, because I mean, he obviously continues to do stuff. He obviously dropped the first round, but then, I mean, like you said, he almost finished Corey in the second round. A lot of refs would have probably called that fight then and there. And I did think, even though it was domination, I did think the fight was pretty competitive in
Yeah.
the aspect of he was able to, Merab was really just kind of spamming the takedowns. He could not keep Corey down. And so, I do think we are going to be going down the rematch road. I know he's asking to fight in December. So with that kind of the caveat of him being able to try to beat another record with title defenses, though I am not a fan of the Peter Yan matchup at all, I would say, give it to him, I guess.
Who else?
For me, the answer is pretty easy for who else. The winner of Umar and Batista should be fighting Merab.
That's in
Now,
October, though, so I don't know if they'd be ready.
Which is this month.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah,
it's in 2 weeks. So, I mean, if he wants to already get something on the books and they want to do the Yan match, I get it.
You don't know how that. I think, to me, I think he wants Peter because, like, he doesn't probably have to train at. I don't want to say he doesn't. We know Merab's going to train, but I don't think he has to dial it in. Does that make sense? Like Umar, I felt like he had to really dial it in.
Which is why it's more of the compelling rematch to me.
It is.
There's still a chance of what could happen. And not only that, I do think Batista kind of has a unique set of skills to also give Merab problems. And if he's able to somehow beat Umar, I think emphatically he should be next over
Agreed.
Yan.
Okay. Yeah, agreed. I'll agree. If Mario beats Umar, he would be the number one contender to me. He's the only guy left.
But if Umar were to finish Batista, you would still want to see the Yan rematch over the Umar rematch?
No. I don't want to see it in December. I would rather wait. Does that make sense?
It makes sense for the caveat of you want him to get an opportunity to,
I want
beat
both
the
guys.
record.
I would want both guys to be well rested.
Yeah. And I understand it from that point. Yan is kind of already waiting and stuff.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. But it's kind of weird because, like, even though Merab is on the kind of rematch train or getting close to it, I do still find that top of that division very interesting in what they can do, even if it is going to be rematches.
Yeah. Nobody's been able to figure him out. As far as, like, I think he's fighter of the year right now. If JDM beat Islam, I might change my mind at that point in time. But if Merab got 4 title fights in a 12-month span, he's the fighter of the year. I don't care. I don't care what the fuck opponents were. 4 title fights and 4 wins. I don't care who they were.
Yeah, I mean, off activity, I'd have really no issue in giving it to him. It is something you rarely see, especially like for a champion, I mean, we've seen other guys get 4 or 5 fights, in a year, wins in the year and stuff, shout out Charles Johnson. He's definitely one of them.
Yeah. Kevin Holland's done it once or twice. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So, but he's definitely putting himself in that conversation. And not only that, I think the most important part is Dana's sold on him. Because, I mean, Dana even admitted at the presser that he's, not really sold. And he kind of, like, knows what he has at this point. I mean, he's almost got, like, a little, like, Georgian version of GSP or something. And I think, Dana will know good ways to monetize that. I mean, I would love to see Merab fighting at the White House. I mean, guy's American citizenship and stuff. But, the activity is definitely part of how impressive it is. Because, like, he's a champion that's being this active. And, that really and not only that, but just the demoralizing pace of, just continuing with the chain wrestling and stuff. I mean, It's
And it's like,
definitely and he wants to stay in his division and keep fighting. None of
yeah,
this, let's go up to 145, fight Volk with a bullshit super fight. He wants to be the best at 135, and that is what will truly, at the end of the day, eventually cement him for the GOAT status.
yeah, I agreed. Like, there's no talk of, like, he doesn't even like talk about going to any other division. Like, there's no talk of like going to 125 or 145. Like, it's just like, I'm here. Like, I'm,
Yeah.
this, and then this, yeah, anybody can beat me on any given night. Like, anybody, like, he's very humble. He's so much fun. And I think, like, I think Peter, the crack kind of mentioned this too. Peter Carroll, he kind of, like, Merab could probably finish some guys. It's just like he's just in there having fun. Like, this is the only 25 minutes everybody's going to watch me, so I might as well just have some fun. I'm gonna wrestle a bunch. I'm gonna do some, like, it's just like it's wild to watch, and it's fun to watch. I've become such a fan of him over the last 2 years or so. I really think I think he's so dominant. Like, I don't know. Like, there's not really a guy, I don't even want to say Batista, because I don't really know if there's a guy that can beat him, because just the cardio and the pace that he puts on is insane. It is, man. It's just, it's wild to think and how good he is. It was a fun fight. I feel bad for Corey. I don't really know what's next for him. I mean, there's a lot of good fights for him. I'd like to see him and O'Malley still. I don't know if, like, that's
It's such a layup. Just get it done already. I mean,
Yeah.
you really got no excuses at this point.
Yeah, like, that's the fight I think everybody wants to see. Like, just do it. It's going to be a little bit,
Both
I
coming
don't know.
off a loss to Merab.
Yeah.
I think it fits perfectly.
Yeah, two guys who just fought off the title for the loss. Yeah,
If they don't book it now, we're never going to see it. I mean, point blank, period.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Man, Joe Pyfer had a nice win. Seems like he wants somebody in the top 15. We got to talk real quick before we get into what's next this weekend. Patchy Mix. I mean, what the hell do you do with Patchy?
I mean, I was saying in the space with Rob, even though we know he has, like, at least one more fight on his deal, is he not fighting for his roster spot in this scenario?
Yeah.
And I kind of alluded to it on the breakdown that I thought the matchmaking of, matching him up with a, KSW champion and, a hot young prospect, they were, like, really doing him no favors in this. I'm not sure if he was injured. He definitely looked like he got gassed really early.
Yeah, there was, I think, in the halfway through the first or second round, I saw, like, him lay out like a big, like, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, oh shit, this motherfucker is gassed.
And, I don't know if he just needs to move camps. I've kind of been pounding that drum for him and Tatiana for a couple fights now, starting to feel like a broken record. I will say, though, he had a much better third round than where the fight was kind of trending in the first two. So, I mean, it's not like he kind of upright and quit or anything, but I have an assumption that the UFC is going to do a very similar booking for his next fight. I mean, I don't think they're really doing him any showcasing favors. They definitely kind of buried him at the top of the early prelims. That was kind of another red flag to me. But I mean, I'm stating the obvious here, but I mean, he just kind of needs to get back on the horse and get a win. But this is a much different organization to do that type of stuff in than when he was with PFL or Bellator or, whatever you wanted to call it. He was definitely kind of the top there, where here he's definitely going to have a difficult time getting ranked. I mean, revisionist history here, but I think the Batista fight was probably the worst matchup they could have given him, for his debut there. And, I'm not, like, really counting him out. He could definitely get a victory. But, I mean, even if he does get a win, is that going to be enough for the UFC to want to give him a new deal? I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't make his way back into the PFL. We got to shout out my guys Zala, or as I like to call him, Zoltan. Huge tap, Josh Emmett. He called out Lerone Murphy. I still don't understand. Is Lerone not going to fight for the title? Or are we looking at Silva? Are they looking at Silva? It seems like that's kind of up in the air. I don't need to see. I'm glad not Silva, but Diego won. But I don't think Diego should win one fight and then turn around and fight for the title. I think it should be Lerone.
Especially how Volk dominated him. I mean, can we not just do something fresh?
Yeah, agreed.
I know he hasn't been active in a while, but if they're going to run back a rematch with Diego, I would much rather them just give Volk what he was originally asking for and give him Mosavar. But I'm not sure if I don't really think it's a visa issue or anything, because Lerone has been pretty vocal about wanting it. I don't know if it's just going to be a timing thing.
Seems like Lerone said he's game, like he's ready to go.
Yeah, which is I don't really get why that has not been announced. I don't know if it's just maybe more up in the air that Volk is going to be on that December date. I mean, these guys really seem to play coy when they're asking for it, but they're nursing an injury and they need an extra month or so. But I mean, to me, I kind of circled December for being Volk versus Lerone, and then Pantoja versus Joshua Van.
Yeah,
double title fight for the last pay-per-view in technically ever, depending on how you look at it with the Paramount deal.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure really what the holdup is on that. Maybe it will just get announced later in the month when we get this other title fight off the books, because it is kind of the anomaly of not having the pay-per-view in September, and now you're getting 4 title fights in a month. So maybe they're just kind of seeing their options. But I do think it is a little bizarre that one already hasn't been announced.
Yeah. I'd like to do Zoltan versus Arnold Allen. You know what I mean?
I mean, definitely someone
in the top 2 or 3 there, top 5.
In that, and he definitely deserved it, and he really made it a point to search for the finish early when he kind of got shit on for the Cater performance, even though I found it quite impressive to see Cater literally have nothing for him for 25 minutes. But I get it. You're fighting in the Apex. That can get a little dull at times. But and I do like that he called for let me fight in arena again. Don't rebook me in the Apex. So
please get me out of the Apex, dear God. Yeah. Mike's got something real here quick. They could start fast tracking bantamweights to feed to Merab. Imagine Peyton or Malcolm getting it late 2026. They'd have to. I mean, Wellmaker for sure. I mean, a couple big wins. He could maybe get there. I think if you crack the top 10, they might feed you to Merab, especially if he's already if he's already going to relap everybody.
Yeah, I mean, when I hear the term fast track, I kind of always think of when they matched O'Malley up with Peter Yan.
Yeah.
And so do they have kind of a similar scenario with that? But I mean, all those guys at the top are very tough, and I'm a big fan of Wellmaker, but I do think the UFC has kind of learned from their past mistakes on guys they're high on like that. I mean, the same thing kind of happened with Peyton there, but
I think I'd like to slow build a little bit, maybe not as slow as what's the wrestler? God, what's his name? They tried to fast track him, then he lost to DDP.
Oh, Nickel.
Yeah, Bo Nickel. Thanks. Not as slow as Bo Nickel, but I don't need as fast as O'Malley.
Well, even the Nickel fight, I think that was a scenario where I think the UFC thought he would walk through RDR not really knowing who RDR was. They kind of just, oh, well, it's this fucking one guy where meantime he's literally a former champion in that division and had only lost to Anatoly Markov. So, but I mean, that's kind of what I mean with that example. They're kind of learning from those mistakes. So, very well, Merab could be the champion when those two guys eventually crack the top 10.
So Mike says, to be clear, I wouldn't like this to happen. I could see it happen. Wellmaker's so older, but he's still like in his early 20s, I feel like Wellmaker is. So he's not that shit. I'd have him on my fantasy. My hope they fucking slow roll Malcolm.
Walking it back quickly once he realizes.
Yeah. Bobby, let's get into this weekend real quick. We are live in Colby Covington's favorite place, none other than Brazil, baby. The birthplace of Colby Covington.
I guess it is.
Not a bad card. I don't want to say it's not the world's greatest. It's obviously heavy Brazil. But at the top you got Charles Oliveira versus Matheus Gamrot. This is a even odds here on ESPN. Got it -115 for Charles, -105 for Gamrot. Co-main, you have Davison Figueiredo dog coming in here at +240, taking on Montel Jackson. You have Vincent Luque taking on Joel Alvarez. Joel Alvarez making his welterweight debut. You got some heavyweight action in Johanna Denínez versus Mario Pinto. My favorite fight on the card is actually, how about who would have thought we'd get a Walker versus Usman, baby? Walter Walker taking on Big Mo Usman. Walker, the heavy favorite at -350. Your thoughts here on UFC Brazil?
Is that one on the main card, or they got that on the prelims?
They got it on the prelims. Pretty buried on the prelims.
Yeah, no, well, they've been burying Usman for a while. Yeah, I mean, for a Brazil card, I think it'll more than deliver. It's more about kind of being back there and stuff. And then they got Oliveira on the main event, obviously. I've been very vocal about my reservations of him coming back so quickly.
Same.
And I don't really care that they gave him a much more kind of grappler heavy opponent than with Fiziev pulling out. To me, it's just turning around from having a brutal knockout like that. And that's kind of what really gives me the pause with all that. But, at the same time, was not going to turn down a chance to main event in his hometown there. And that should be very interesting. I'm kind of interested to see how Gamrot will, attempt to play the spoiler and stuff. I mean, not to do MMA math, but Gamrot does have the win over Sarukian. I could care how you judge the fight, guys. I know a lot, not you, Bacchus, but the people out there, he won. That was the judge's decision. So he got that victory. And, Armin has the win over Oliveira. But it's never that simple. So, but I am definitely kind of looking forward to it. But I do think the card as a whole will deliver. Kind of bizarre that they once again have it in the American prime time and not with Brazil. Would have preferred it to be much more of a midday card. But I still do think it's worthy for staying up for because of how they built it there.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. We both kind of been in agreement that Charles probably shouldn't have come back. I am a little happier that it's Gamrot and not Fiziev, just because I think Fiziev, obviously with the hands, not saying that Gamrot doesn't, but like Gamrot will wrestle. So I think but I mean, sometimes we know how those things go where neither guy wants to take it to the ground because they're so good. The other person's so good at the ground that they rather just stand up and fight. I've reached the tail end of Charles. You know what I mean? Like I think it's over for like I think it's it's at the end. You know what I mean? Like so.
Yeah, I remember when he went out, you were kind of hoping he didn't do any more and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. It's so dicey. Like if there was not the turnaround aspect of it,
If
I
it had been
feel a
like
lot.
a year, I'd be okay. But it's like it's
Yeah.
much like Alex coming back off the head kick. You know what I mean? And then turn around and
No,
fighting.
it's giving me heavy Volk vibes
Yeah.
of taking that one, and then not only that, but then defending the title against Ilya. And
Yeah.
granted, that is a much worrisome scenario than the one that we're going to get on Saturday. But really just is in the back of my mind. And I don't know, like, I wonder if Charles is going to kind of fight with the same pressure that he always does in walking down. And I kind of lead that he's going to. Like, I don't expect him to change his entire style
Yeah.
off,
No, me
one
neither.
finish with Ilya. But I think the odds makers really got it right, and it generally is a coin flip to me there.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Are we? Who you picking?
Throughout the entire month when they had it booked, I was pretty confident that I was going to pick Gamrot because I just see kind of better just scenarios for him to win. But I don't know if it's calling me getting caught up with the moment or acknowledging that it's going to be in Brazil and he's going to have the crowd. But for some reason, I just picture a
Thanks, Mike. See
batshit
you later.
scenario where Charles up against all odds, taking some damage, and he still finds a way to pull it out. I did not think I was going to be making that decision when I came on, but I kind of flipped the audible the last minute there.
So you're picking Du Bronx.
I am with very. If he loses, I'm just going to put it all on me. But I don't know. I kind of trust him to put everything else out of his mind, and that mainly means that last fight with Ilya. I don't think he's going to be gun shy. I mean, these Shuto box guys only know one pace, and I expect him to see it, but it's going to be a very difficult task. And yesterday, I was probably going to side with Gamrot, but just going back and forth with it, I am going to pick Du Bronx for this.
I'm going Gamrot. I told you Charles is. I think it's over for him. Like it's time to. I wish he would hang it up. I don't think he's going to because, like you said, those shooter guy boxes. I mean, even when they shouldn't be fighting and have got lawsuits of CTE, they're still getting in boxing matches and getting knocked out. So give me Gamrot, baby. Give me
Shout out Vanderlei Silva.
Bobby, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the awesome, maybe the best contender fight series last night. What an incredible fight it was between, I want to get their names right. Adrian Luna Martini and Mark Voldegaden. I mean, what a war that was last night.
Yeah, I mean that second round was just straight bananas, and you're never going. I mean, make sure to check out the whole episode because I mean the main event, Khabib's boy like laid down that striking. That was a good one too.
Yeah,
but definitely that co-main, you're never going to get a scenario again, I think, where Dana White literally goes to Lauren Sanko before the main event happens and says, we're signing both of these guys and we're giving them both $25K. I mean, granted, now that we've seen it, maybe other guys will try to match it, but it's very, and I know it technically doesn't count as a UFC fight because of, them trying to get into the UFC.
Yeah.
But that will, when we do end of year awards, it will definitely be a candidate for a fight of the year for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably still slightly have Van Royval over it for the every round. The third round kind of had to slow down with the pace those guys were doing, and you got to implore the takedown. I mean, Khalil Roundtree could learn a hell of a lot from that third round. That's all I'm going to say on that there. But if you have not checked that out, I mean, the UFC is trying to big it up big when they're literally putting that on their YouTube channel and stuff. So if you haven't seen it, absolutely check it out. It's one of those rare fights where the winner is almost irrelevant.
Yeah.
Like that might be the best loss in Contender Series history.
Right.
So really looking forward to see what those two guys do next, because it didn't really take it to me like that was their style because they were on Contender. I feel like they're always throwing everything in the kitchen sink.
Yeah,
so
agreed.
Can't wait to see
that little
what
dude,
we got
the guy who lost, he's like a little tiny Terminator, Voldigan, and man, like that was incredible. I mean, he had a nasty cut above his eye and just stayed with it. And
it's a good thing it was in Vegas. That shit would have got stopped anywhere else.
Yeah, hell of a fight. It was a hell of a fight. We wanted to shout them out real quick. Bobby, you got anything else before we get out of here?
No, I think that covers it. And definitely, last thing, class act by Pereira for doing the moment of silence for Arthur Jones. And I don't know another athlete that can literally blow the roof off a place and then get everyone to go silent. Like that was almost more impressive than the performance in the cage itself. But
he's their biggest star.
Yeah, and afterwards, before the post fight interview, getting the entire arena, like he wanted everyone chanting CHAMA. And it's showing, it was like the biggest y'all must have forgot motherfuckers moment I've seen in a good amount of time.
Yeah. I told y'all I wasn't fucking, told y'all I was sick, but you know what I mean? Like I wasn't fucking, this guy can't beat me.
Yeah. And like in the future, I'm going to take those comments a lot more seriously. Like to the point, like Jan mentioned he was compromised in the first Merab fight. And normally I would roll my eyes at that bullshit. But after Saturday, I'm just going to have to start giving these fighters the benefit of the doubt because they deserve it.
Yeah. At least Alex does. For sure, Alex. I'll give him that.
But not on Goliath, humbug.
Hey, Ali made him. He had to pay the price for Ali's crimes. You know what I mean? That's his own fault. Get a better manager. Tweet your own shit. I don't know. Anyway, folks, it's been a great episode of Headkicks and Haymakers. For my guy Bobby Blunts, I'm Bodkins. We'll be back here 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 Eastern next Wednesday. So be a friend. Tell your friend. We'll see you next week, baby.
Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, let's talk sport, friends. Thanks for watching.